Let's get back into this. Let's actually just add a little bit more. There we go. Alright. Let's do this thing. So we did defeat the Moon Lord using this setup recently. That's why we actually have the Lunar bars. Actually, perfect. Alright. So now that we've got the Lunar bars, we actually still need more in order to craft the solar flare set, so that's on the docket to do. Don't know if I actually need a new furnace or not, but I've got one on a different world, so if we need to, we'll go back to that. However, let's look at what we got here. So we did get the Ankh Shield. A little bit of firing. That wasn't actually all that great, so just did that off camera. A lot of grinding, especially for the Cursed Skulls to get that particular item again, the Mazar. But other than that, it's really not too terribly difficult to get it. It's just a lot of grinding. We have the Celestial Stone that we combined, Band of Regeneration, but everything else is good to go. So with full set, we're actually on the Beetle set right now. If we have the wings and boots equipped for movements, then we have 97 defense. If we switch out our gear that we would use in there for fighting it, we're up to 101 defense. So first things first, we've got to head all the way over to the left and defeat the Lunatic Cultist again to trigger this whole thing. And I do still have a regeneration potion. I do not have an armor skin potion on me right now. That would give me additional 8 armor. Not really worried about it. That would put me at like 109 armor, but that point is kind of overkill, so not going to worry about that at all. So in this map, the dungeon is all the way over to the left, and it is a small map that I built just specifically for farming. I believe is what this originally was for, and just ended up being the map that I decided to use to get all the way to kill the Moon Lord. So progression happened, even if it was unintended sometimes. All right, these things real quick. Yep. Get my dragon out. Get that out. Some cloud. That cloud is not going to hit him really, but oh well. I should put it higher. I'm also 500 health. I did go and farm life food as well since the last time we did this. So we do have a little bit of extra health to work with. Specifically 65 more than we had previously. Oop. Oop. Get our mouse figured out again. Where we're at. There we go. I keep not hitting the correct one, which is making this a little bit more difficult, but we're fine. We can just heal tank this. I could switch to the other weapon and finish him, but it wasn't really worth it at that point. So we've already spawned into the next Lunar event, which is interesting. But that does happen sometimes on a smaller map, because it's so close quarters that we're actually spawned in the zone that we're going to be fighting in anyways. So we'll just move everything over a little bit. 2. Nope, that's this. 5, 6. There we go. What's the nice thing is I don't actually have anything more than one summon available. Oh, that's actually this. I never went up here. I never bothered to go up here on this map. It's just a random island in the sky. There's nothing really special about this. So there really isn't any reason to come up here. But that makes sense why the wyverns are spawning so close, is because there is an island right there. Remember. My current gear actually only gives me like one summoning slot, unless I go and trigger the table to give me another one. But both the Cloud and the Dragon don't count as an official summon. So I get that little bonus there. So I can have both the Dragon and the Cloud out at the same time. Well, really it's a Frost Hydra. So Frost Hydra, the Dragon counts as my one summon, and then obviously the Cloud. And then this Rod, which I actually need to upgrade. I need to reforge that. Maybe we'll do that in between when we defeat the first 2 and we go back to the base. I should take a little bit of damage, but we're fine. Grab these hearts down here. This is good. There we go. Vampire knives are nice for heal tanking, but they don't deal as much damage. Especially at long range, they tend to do a lot less damage. Alright, let's actually go back over here and place these banners down real quick. Yep. Well, we know what to do. Make a cactus wall. Oop! I want those. Do not want to dump those. That would be bad. Those 2 banners there. And that one there. And we can go ahead and deposit our Nebula fragments, even though we have 300 of them now. Excellent. And on to the next one. The banners only have a somewhat small radius of effectiveness, so I'm trying to spread those out quite a bit. What's the one we're going to have over here? Ooh, nice. So we get kind of the 2 easy ones out of the way first. For the most part. Although I guess this is probably pretty easy. I guess the one we did first is maybe the second or third hardest. I would rate this as probably the first or second hardest, or easiest, rather. Especially with the vampire knives and the dragon, I just kind of fly around, heal tank, and let it take care of its business. I don't necessarily have to worry about damage as much with this one. I don't really feel like this one does all that much damage. So instead we'll just heal tank it up and wait. And win. Granted, the beetle armor that I have really does help. So it's really pretty much the highest value armor I can have until I get the solar flare set. The chlorophyte set that I have does a little bit more damage. It's a little bit more like straight up attack power than the beetle set is, but it's also mostly less tanky. So since I'm soloing these, I prefer to do the tankiness of I prefer to do the tankiness of the beetle set. And just kind of let my summons and just the lower DPS, but over a longer time that I can just sustain it and be fine. So I don't mind doing that. Especially comes into play with the Moon Lord, because I can't really kill the Moon Lord with the chlorophyte set because I take too much damage. So when I play the beetle set, I have a little bit more innate tankiness from that additional armor that really lets me just do what I need to do and not really have to worry about it. I think we want the Masterful. What's the Masterful give? Or we want the Deadly. We don't really need the Godly, because we don't need knockback. I actually haven't upgraded my Daybreak too, but I don't really care about the Daybreak as much. Stop bugging me for 13 damage, goddammit. It's annoying. I realize I forgot to place those banners too. Oh well. Alright. Also, those vortex fragments. Excellent. Reforge. Over here. Over here. Oops. I always take out the platinum ahead of time, that way I'm not ruining my money trough. Because then if I have just the money off my bank, then it adds the additional slots for the silver and copper coins that kind of screws everything up. So I just like withdraw it and then use it. Ooh, Deadly Nimbus. Not quite as good. I want Masterful, I think. I think that's what I want. Murderous is meh. Yeah, Deadly's so far been the best one we've got, but I think there's a better one than that. %, damage, 9% speed. Is that actually the best one? Let's look. What's the best modifier? Best modifier is supposed to be demonic. Okay. Because it can't have mythical or ruthless. Because it doesn't have any knockback on it. So we want demonic. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. It's not like we're gonna run out of money. Oop. I'm starting to dig into my bank. See, this is what... And I got several coins all over the place. Let's do that. And we'll just deposit whatever platinum we have left afterwards. Alright, back to reforging. There we go, we got demonic. We got demonic. So we're under 400 platinum now. Oh well. Alright. On to the final two. What do we got here? Ah, yes. So that means solar will be our last one, actually. Instead we get Stardust, which... I used to consider it the easiest one because of all the orbs that I kill, but the dragon kills them so damn fast that I can't just free farm them anymore. So maybe it's not the easiest anymore. Whatever. Still not exactly terribly difficult. I will say the beetle armor and all the gear that I have makes this a lot easier than it probably is. But you can still follow this, you can still just kind of fly around a lot and dodge most of the damage application anyway. I don't necessarily worry about being too fine with it anymore because the damage that I take is pretty negligible. I can just heal it up again with the vampire knives. But there's sometimes that I do have to be kind of still careful with it, because both this one and the solar one can hurt. But Stardust is typically fairly easy to kite out, especially if you have just a whole bunch of star cells that just spawn over and over and over and take up all the spawn slots. It's really the worms that you have to worry about for most of like the damage application, because they do substantial amounts of damage. For solar, typically the best way to avoid their dragons or worms is to stay on the ground, whereas solar, it's Stardust, it's pretty much the opposite. If you stay high and move around, their movement in the air isn't necessarily as good. Although running into the flow invaders kind of hurts a little bit too. I tend to use the Vampire Knives more so in this than I will necessarily the Lunar fight, because the Lunar fight I'll be using primarily this Solar Eruption. But because I'm not wearing my regeneration items, even with the fact that the Moon Lord does have anti-regeneration debuff, I don't really care as much. Hello, baseball. How you doing today? When's the Stardust gonna pop here? Shouldn't be too much longer. I think we're getting close to 50. There it is. Alright, I should put the dragon down and the next cloud. There you go. Alright, we're done with this. There we go. Alright. That's 3 down. Let's go and place these banners that we got real quick. One of those. One of those. This particular one is normal mode just because it's the first time that I've actually been doing it. I do have a world that I've been considering doing expert mode for all the way through. Just doing like a speed run of it. I want to make sure I have the solar flare set before I do it, though. That's why I'm doing it with normal mode, because I want to have the solar flare before I try it in expert mode. Hence why we're doing this right now. Other than that, most of the gear I have probably could do it with an expert mode. But having that solar flare actual armor set rather than the beetle set that I'm using right now is going to be a huge difference for that. I did get almost enough Luminite from the last time I beat the Moon Lord to craft it, but just need to kill him one more time and then we'll have enough. Because most of my accessories are good. I have the Ankh Shield. I'll have the Warding Celestial Stone, other things like that. It's just those little other things that I need to include the Solar Flare armor before I decide to really do it on Expert. Because if I was on Expert, right now I'd have 101 armor instead of 97 down here. And then once I switch over the 2 items, I'm going to go up to, I think, 101. Yeah, I'm going to go up to 101 when I switch my 2 items for fighting the Moon Lord. That would go up to 105 on non-expert. That would go up to 109 if I went on expert mode when I do those items. And then if I switch over to the Solar Flare set, that's going to give me even more. So this character is pretty much full melee. I kind of like it specifically from the fact I'm using the Vampire Knives, which is melee damage. I'm using the Solar Eruption, which is a long-range, extendable sword, really, that penetrates through terrain. So I've got most of the gear that I would want or need for it. It's just really getting around to doing it. I did not make an asphalt runway to fight the Moon Lord. I considered doing that. Instead, I went the less resource-intensive route and just went ahead and made like a tiny little box with a whole bunch of regeneration that I can go in there and just kill it that way. So that's how we'll be killing the Moon Lord. No running around, just kind of hopping back and forth, shooting it with the Solar Eruption. I will say I was trying to do this with the Glorified armor before. Did not necessarily work as well. The Beetle armor really made the difference in terms of making sure I was taking enough to sustain through, or be able to actually tank the Moon Lord substantially enough to kill it. Because the Glorified armor gave me more damage, but it also made me die faster. Hence the Beetle set instead. So this is our final pillar, and then we'll be going. Alright, so Nico Does Gaming, this is the very end game of Terraria, so this is the very last boss that you're going to fight specifically on the PC mode. Console and 3DS version is a little bit different in terms of end game boss. This is specifically the Moon Lord, which is after hard mode, after Plantera, after Lunatic Cultist. Let's go ahead and grab these real quick and head back to our rocks. Alright. So we've got a little bit of time to finalize our prep work before the Moon Lord actually spawns in. So first things first, we'll go to this enchanting station, give us another spawn to make our dragon a little bit longer. And when he spawns in, we'll go ahead and activate our regeneration potion. Actually, I can just magic mirror back into that. Let's go ahead and deposit our solar fragments first. Excellent. And then when he pops in, we'll go ahead and activate our Thorns Potion and our Regeneration Potion. So, here we go. Here we go. Spawn in. Up to potions. And away we go. So for this, I'm going to try and kill both the left hand and the right hand, as well as the main eye that spawns up here, around the same time. Until then, it's kind of dodging. Actually, I need to switch. There we go. Almost forgot to switch those items on. That gives me even more regeneration than I already have, which is incredibly helpful. So I gotta watch these numbers too. Where his health bars are at for both his main head eye, his two hands, because I want to kill them about the same time and open up his chest all at once without having those eyes spawn out and be additional mobs that I have to fight. So I don't have my wings actually equipped anymore. They're instead in just like a social slot, so it looks like I have them equipped, but I don't actually still have them equipped. And as you can see, I'm still pretty much at max life. I have honey in this, I have the 2 heart lanterns, I have other regeneration items, so even if the regeneration debuff hits me, I'm still going to take a lot less damage from my beetle armor. I'm still going to be fine for the most part in terms of fighting him. And I've still got potions that I can use if I need to. So I'm trying to get this first eye down to about 10,000. Right hand's pretty close, the left hand's pretty close, about 2,000 each. So I want to primarily hit this main eye first, get it down around the same place as the hands are, because I can kill those off pretty quick. Especially because my dragon's going to go ahead and hit the eyes, like I already killed the left one there. So now this eye is going to be by itself, doing a whole bunch of damage. So I want to kill the head eye as well as the right hand as quickly as possible. Alright, now the chest is opened up, and now we just gotta kill him. Again, this is only on normal mode, so it's not super crazy, but it is still pretty challenging. Like, I killed some of those eyes probably a little bit too early, and I am taking substantial damage, but I should be able to outlast it. Yep, we're gonna be fine. Last time I did this was a little bit more dicey, we're more than fine this time. And there we go! With 150 to spare. Alright. Oh, right. I need to switch back to my boots and my wings, so I've got mobility again. Alright. There we go. So we got the portal gun. Ooh. SDMG, nice. Throw that in one of the chests here. Get extra gear. Same with the extra portal gun that we got. Don't need feathers. Go ahead and drop these banners down. Yep. Again, most of the gear that I have is very oriented to a late game. I have the full beetle armor. The Celestial Stone gives a whole bunch of buffs by itself. Ankh Shield gives pretty much anti-debuff to everything. With these, both these items give me regeneration. So a lot of this gear is really, really designed specifically for that fact to go ahead and just to beat him. Actually, can we get the Lunite bar using this forge? We can. Perfect. Alright. So let's go ahead and make ourselves Solar Flare set. Solar Wings. So we can actually make some of the other Vortex armor that's also pretty good for late game, but we specifically, as being melee, want this good, awesome looking Solar Flare set. Solar Flare helmet, Solar Flare breastplate, and Solar Flare leggings. And because they require Luminite, this is something you can only get after defeating the Moonlord. So let's go ahead and switch this out. Actually, hold on. So right now we're at 97 armor. Solar Flare takes us up to 102. So, let's go ahead and deposit our armor that we no longer need because it's obsolete now. The nice thing is the Solar Flare set also gives plenty of bonuses, like I can double tap dash into things. So it gives me the solar shields that are similar to the beetle armor of the beetles that come around and protect you, so I've actually got reduced damage from that. Reduced damage by 30% repel. The beetle armor set is a little bit more when it's full stacked, it's 45%, but still substantial. But we have this nice little double dash ability to dash in and bash them. Alright. So now that that's done, let's actually go ahead and take off our vanity set real quick. Just so we can see what we look like in this nice looking Solar Flare armor. Actually, let's take off our dyes while we're doing it too. Just so we can see it in all of its glory. Yes. Solar Flare set. Alright. So, now that that's taken care of, let's go ahead and do this one more time just so we can see how much more of a difference the Solar Flare armor set makes. Nice thing is, I think this one stays on all the time, whereas the beetle set kind of charges up, and you have to get 4 charges after not taking damage. I think the Solar Flare set stays on regardless if you're taking damage or not. Ooh, we actually got a blindfold. That's awesome. Blindfold is one of the items that goes in the Ankh Shield. I think I should farm that for a while too. That's nice to actually just grab that as a random drop. Perfect. So again, this is specifically on normal. This is not on expert. I do plan on doing this again on expert mode. And is that Will or Dan? I can't really tell when you join like that. Alright. Let's head back over to that lunatic cultist, hit it up again. Do this whole thing one more time. Let's test this out, actually. Oh, that's awesome. That actually exhausts my defensive bonus, though. I should do more damage now that I did in the beetle set. Because the beetle set had a lot of defenses, but it also had less armor protection. Ah, I missed it. I just need to pay a little bit more attention, normally, to the lunatic cultist. and actually detect rather than just going in and hitting one. Honestly, if your gear's not good enough to do it otherwise, then yeah, absolutely pay attention when it spawns out. So I'm not going to hit him now. It's this one over here, and then the extra ones don't spawn in. Hey, Will. How you doing, man? There we go. So there's limited cultist, which now spawns the 4 lunar vents. Go ahead and dump that. We don't need it anymore. Alright. What's the first one we got here? Ooh. Solar. Lovely. Actually, let's head over to where the pillar is. Here it is. Alright. So the solar flare set does have to charge up while you're not taking damage. That's fine. So you'll see this icon right here go in and out. That specific shield looking icon that will be appearing up in the upper left hand corner. That will go in and out as I take damage. If I'm continuously taking damage, then it won't pop in. It'll pop in that smaller shield first if I'm not taking damage for a short period of time, and then it'll have those little wings on the shield if I've dodged damage enough. I think the first stack is only 15. I can't tell. Let's see here. Nope, the first stack is 30. Okay. So it's the same damage reduction regardless of how many charges you have. It only just stacks up to 2 charges. Beetle armor is a little bit different. It stacks 15 per charge in terms of damage reduction. But it has 3 charges for maximum 45%. I know, well, it's Dream Daddy tonight. Justice Dan gets to play Dream Daddy. And for those of you not familiar, I will be ending this stream before the top of the hour, because the Justice League, Justice Dan will be switching over to play Dream Daddy since he made Will play How to Fuck Boyfriend. I invite you to stop by and enjoy in the fun and the torture that is going to be subject to Justice Dan. But for now, we've got Lunar events to finish. And if you're just looking for Terraria, don't worry. Justice Will streams that as well. It's not going to be full endgame, but he is going along to the basic of Terraria itself. He has just entered hard mode, so I do invite you to stop by them and watch them as well. Good quality content. I should just switch to the freaking... yeah. I mean, the Vampire Blades are nice because they help me heal tank, but if I want to kill stuff fast, I'd be better off just using the Solar Eruption. Much more damage to kill things much quicker. I will say the Solar one is the one that I see people die the most to because of the damage aspects of it. Let's see. That's good. There's my cursor. We have to be getting close to 50 now. There we go. Alright. And alright. First one done. What's next one? What's the next one? Actually, let's go ahead and teleport back and head to the right. We'll skip the second one to the left here for the time being. Ooh! Whoops. Wrong button. Wrong button. There we go. Where's the pillar? Ah, here's the pillar. Yep. Vortex shouldn't take as long. I should probably actually switch to this. Back to the solar eruption now that I'm full health again. Drop down that. Drop down that. Alright. But what you're seeing right now is really a culmination of a whole hell of a lot in terms of getting all this gear. Just like the weapons that I'm using, the solar eruptions themselves took farming of the lunar events. It's those fragments that you seem to be picking up from the pillars after they drop. That's where a lot of these weapons came from. So even though I wasn't able to create the solar flare armor because it takes illuminite until after I kill the Moon Lord, a lot of these weapons that I'm using to kill them anyways come from the lunar events, which lead up to them. So there was a lot of farming the lunar events to start with and just dying the Moon Lord over and over before we could actually get to the point where we could kill him. Hey, how you doing? I sense a question is coming. What's his line question? Nope, there we go. I will also say this is specifically to PC version of Terraria right now. If you're on console or the 3DS version, you have a slightly different endgame boss. You do not have the Moon Lord. Moon Lord is specific to PC as endgame. I haven't played it for a long time. Pokemon was a long time ago. I don't mind it. Still a good game, but haven't really touched Pokemon for the longest time. I will say though, for a while there, especially as they ruin the reboots like Fire Red, Leaf Green, revisiting like Johto, Kanto, all the places like that rather than kind of building out new areas, that kind of got a little bit repetitive, so that was right around the time that I got out of it. Like Soul Silver, Leaf Green, ones like that, not necessarily as much my thing. Since then I haven't really played Pokemon as much. Don't get me wrong, still a great franchise, but I've lent into more of the PC gaming. Less so than the old Nintendos. We'll say though, favorite game of all time still on a Nintendo console? Specifically Star Fox 64. I know a lot of people, they like Ocarina of Time specifically for the N64, also a great game, but man, can't go wrong with Star Fox. Cannot go wrong with Star Fox. Watching what? I'm not sure what you're referencing there. This is a Nebula pillar. We skipped the Stardust pillar. So the Stardust pillar will be the last one we actually end up killing. Alright. Ah, yes, Chrono Trigger is also a great game. And yes, Nezah, I'm watching chat and I'm replying. And yes, I did mention that I do kind of like Pokemon, but I haven't played it for a long time. Again, it's something that I kind of got out of playing those games after they redid reboots of... Oh, shit. Wrong button. I got out of it after they redid Fire Red, Leaf Green, Soul Silver, Heart Gold. When they did those revisits, it kind of just felt too much repetitive. I was never a big fan of the show as much. And there were certain aspects of the show where they were good, but especially when if you played the game first and then you started watching the show, it felt really weird compared to what you actually experienced already. So that synchronization kind of, at least in my mind, hurt a little bit in terms of actually getting enjoyment out of the show. Alright, there we go. We made it back. We left on accident, but that's fine. Alright. Actually, I should just use the some of our tools. They do substantial amounts of damage though, so I will have to switch back to the Vampire Knives. Probably once I get to around 200, just so I don't die. But that'll at least give me some speed. There we go. Let's heal back up. We'll switch back to the slow eruption again. Actually, I might just switch back to stick with the Vampire Knives because I'm not healing up quite as fast. I've never actually seen Roblox, but kind of actually not really a fan of that as much anymore. And don't get me wrong, all the different genres and different stuff like that are still enjoyable. And if that's your thing, absolutely go with it. I encourage you to figure out whatever you like. By all means, seek it, enjoy it, because that's whatever makes you happy. If that's Roblox, then more power to you. But everybody has their own individual preferences. So, alright. Let's place these banners here, just to get them out of the way. And then we'll head back and fight that final pillar. And go ahead and kill the Moon Lord once more. There's our banners. No, fragments off. Sit back. Perfect. Alright. So this will be the Stardust Pillar, which will be the final one. We'll try and kill these. Nope, dragons kill them too fast. One of the benefits to you kind of playing against the Stardust that you kind of abuse a little bit, if you don't have a summon that kills them all so fast, is you can just make it spawn a whole bunch of Stardust cells, which are fairly slow moving, and use that to kill your 50, because it will actually count as individual monsters once they actually regrow and respawn. I think even the individual ones also count. Like even the small ones do count. But I don't remember that for sure. Well, thank you for the sub very much, Nezha. I would, however, encourage you to sub to Justice League instead, because this is my own personal channel. I just kind of do whatever I want to with it. Whereas on Justice League is more, I'll look to be joining them in the future, as well as doing content with them later on. And then this would be kind of like a side gig to that. Although Justice League is very much quality content every day, and this is kind of much more along the lines of whenever I feel like it kind of thing. But nonetheless, it's much appreciated. Although I will say tonight's stream is going to be a little bit more awkward than what you could normally expect on the channel. However, you're more than welcome to still stop by. Almost done here. If there's a decent Pokemon game, I might consider it. Who knows? I think I might have the old Pokemon Stadium game on the N64. If I can ever figure out how to stream that once I get that back and work with Dan on it, who knows? That could be a possibility. But right now, it's a lot of the Pokemon games are specifically Nintendo console specific. So if you don't have the setup to necessarily do that, if you're specifically PC, it's a little bit hard to actually find and stream Pokemon games. Red Randomizer is a good one, though, that I would potentially look into and have considered before. But then again, that's something that you kind of also have to have a whole bunch of people that want to actually see that. So if it's something where your audience isn't necessarily geared toward that, it doesn't really make as much sense to stream it. But it's still something that if it's desired and people want to see it stream, absolutely, it's a responsibility to still do that. Alright. So there's our final pillar. Let's go ahead and grab our fragments, walk back, and get set up for this. So we got a little bit of time before the Moon Lord actually approaches. Let's go ahead and drop these banners down as we can. Let's go ahead and pop our additional summon stack. Oop. Let's actually do both. We will use both the Dragon and the Stardust Cell for this fight. We're back up to home, and then we wait. I do not have a regeneration potion this time, that's fine. But, we've got the Stardust Armor now, so not going to worry about it. Well, I will say that if Justice League gets to, what was it, Will, like 10,000 subscribers, then Will do Minecraft. Here we go. Oop. One of the things I've also considered is doing mod-specific playthroughs on Minecraft, like the Skyblock, Sky Factory. Those are really, really good mods for stream content nowadays, because even though Minecraft is a little bit old, I did used to mod on a Skyblock server. You can actually find different videos on my channel from when I did that, way back when. But for now, we're playing Terraria. And for now, we're killing the moon. I think I'm going to do a little bit more damage to the head this time. Last time, the left hand spawned a little bit earlier than I just wanted it to. Actually, my starter cell's not getting hungry, so Dragon a little bit more powerful. Especially because the Dragon's doing a lot of damage to the hands, so right hand is actually looking a little bit healthier than the other two. So we'll do a little bit more damage to that for now. It's about like 15,000. Left hand's about 15,000. Right hand's about 10,000. And you'll actually see it if you watch my health in the upper right hand corner there. I'm actually not taking hardly any damage right now, but I will as soon as I kill off the hands and they turn into their own entities' eyes. I'll start taking more damage. Oh yes, it's 100k, sorry. So, it'll happen. It could happen. I mean, you've not been around too long and they're already at 1,000. Like, pure vanilla Minecraft, I don't find as much of, like, streaming-wise that's... I don't like it as much anymore, but absolutely Sky Factory, Skyblock, love those mods for streaming Minecraft. So we're about 3,000 there. Looks like the left hand's already died. We can kill the head. And right hand. Top off here. Alright, so now I got the chest open. And now you can see I'm actually taking substantial damage. But I think we'll be fine. Ideally, I probably want to make this boss a little bit smaller. But I think we'll be okay. We got 30 seconds until our potion sickness is over. 5 seconds. Oh, nope. We keep getting hit with regeneration. So that makes it a little bit harder, but we think we've got a little bit of regeneration still. I think we'll be fine. This one's actually a little closer than last time. Haven't done as good a job of dodging that time because I want to see how much better the solar set was useful for that. Alright. So once again, there is the Moon Lord defeated. Let's go down and collect our bounty. Lovely. Alright. Let's go ahead and deposit this Luminite again. Extra portal gun, whatever. Alright. So I think what I'll do next is just go ahead and craft the additional armor, specifically from the Luminite. Lunar Portal Staff. Ooh. Let's actually take a look and see what this is. Oh, that's awesome. It's not shooting lasers right now because there's no enemies for it to shoot. But absolutely, let's use this thing. I don't really care for yo-yos. Alright. Well, there we go. So that is the Moon Lord R normal. I will have to do this again on Expert, but that is for another day. However, in 30 minutes, I do encourage you to go visit Justice League for their stream. Will does do Terraria videos every so often as well. He's in the middle of the series. However, I thank you all for watching. I will probably come back to this at some point or other. But for now, thank you for stopping by and enjoy the rest of your evening. Or whatever type of day it is where you're at. Bye.